What do they say in 1884 about fat people? How to get less fat. Look what it says. And I inherited this book from my late father-in-law, by the way. If there's one thing that you hang on to, it's books, man. I'm telling you, they don't make them anymore. Everything's going digital. They can rewrite history. Let's have a book on hand, all right? So, fat people, food to reduce their fleshiness. Again, they don't mince words. Speaking of the plan to reduce fat people to a reasonably stout and healthy condition, says, if any reader is growing too fat for comfort, he may possibly find the following suggestions valuable. There are 3 classes of food: the oils, sweets, and starches, the special office of which is to support the animal heat and produce fat, having little or no influence in promoting strength of muscle or endurance. Now, you got to read some of these a few times, like you take some imagination, they word it interestingly, right? If fat people, therefore, would use less fat and more of lean meats, fish, and fowl, less of fine flour and more of whole products of the grains, except the hulls, less of the sweets, particularly in warm weather, and more of the fruit acids in a mild form as in the apple, sleep less and be less indolent, and labor more in the open air, the fat would disappear to a certain extent at least with no loss of real health. So they're saying, get active, eat less fine sweets and candies, have apples. And notice too, it says about warm weather and cold weather. Like, we are supposed to eat different foods depending on the season, eh? And not just because of like what's in season and what's out of season, but there is also something to be said about food that's trucked in from thousands and thousands of miles away. Some people think the food grown and harvested and raised closest to you has like a totally different energetic effect on you than stuff that's grown like when we ship in frickin' blueberries from Chile. Not perhaps ideal, or cows from like Brazil. Like, unless you live there, like, you should try to eat stuff as close to you as possible, not because of the climate or emissions or anything like that, but because of the energies. I'll tell you more about it in part 2. Comment for more info out of this freaking book, man. 1884, can you believe that?